Hi, I'm so glad you're here with me. This is the closest show to Christmas this year, and I wanted to really talk about angels this week. So the topic is light language, which is the language that angels speak. It's the language to communicate with angels. We're going to talk more about that is what it is, how it's used, the different ways you can practice it, and how you can learn to speak it and sing it if you so choose. Before we get going, I want to say hello to my listeners in Isle of Skye, Scotland. I'm going to come visit you, hopefully this year. I'm so excited about this upcoming visit. It'll actually be an Ireland, Scotland visit, and I'm going with my daughter. We've been planning this trip for a while, and it is coming up. So I'll let you know when I'm going to be in the area for all of you in that area, but particularly you saying hello to Isle of Skye, very special place. So let's get started with this. I have a lot to show you and tell you. If you're listening on a podcast platform like most people are, and you want to see some of what I'm showing, you can visit my YouTube channel, which is under my name, Ivory LaNoue, and you can find that and you'll be able to see everything I'm showing. I will be describing it. I'm not oblivious to the fact that most people are listening. So again, light language, it's used by angels and other high forms of consciousness. Well, I'll explain more. The first time I ever heard of light language was from my good friend Terry Ann Russell. She's been a guest on the show talking about Mother Mary and healing. And she was creating some beautiful, colorful light language art. And I admired it. And she said, well, Ivory, you're a singer. It would be a natural for you to sing light language. And I did look up a lot of videos on that, and I'm going to do that. That's a plan for the new year. But I want to show you first what some written examples of this look like. So this isn't Terry Ann's work, and I'm not sure whose it is, but if it's yours, please tell me, I'll give you credit. This is sort of a black and white drawing, and somebody wrote in there unblocking. So I think this is light language for unblocking. And for those of you who can't see it, which is most of you, again, because you're listening, it's very graceful. There's a lot of spirals and graceful curving angles. It kind of looks like treble clefs and some right angles, and it's quite lovely. This is one that has a little more complicated. It's got some arrows and again, you'll see more spirals. And there's a part at the bottom that reminds me of ribbon candy, which, boy, that dates me. It was a Christmas candy when I was young. And there's actually arrows and little symbols that look like runes and triangles. The last one, I wanted to show you an example. I couldn't find one of Terry Ann's or get a hold of her in time, but this is a colored art. So the background's in color, and then they put the light language in white on top of it. And it looks like sort of red angel wings in the background, and then almost there's like dark blue around it and a blue center, almost looks like a heart as well. And then all the same similar symbols written around on that. So the symbols, there's some stars, looks like vague numbers. Some of these symbols look like very high level Reiki symbols that I learned decades ago and that I use. It's interesting because just like when people speak it or sing it, it sounds different from person to person. When people draw it, when they write it, it looks different. And I'll explain why that is. So I looked up when Terry Ann said, Ivory, you're a singer, you should sing light language. And I was intrigued. And I looked up some videos, and one of them that I was drawn to on YouTube was this blonde woman who was standing in the Red Rocks here in Sedona, and her hands were flowing very gracefully, and she was uttering phrases in a language that I didn't recognize, and it's light language, but it sounded strange to me because I couldn't interpret it, but it was very beautiful. And I watched a few of her videos, and my body began to respond to this dance of sound and gestures, and it felt like rivers of energy inside me. Since then, I've discovered quite a few other practitioners of light language, and I'm going to have one of them on the show in the near future. Some people speak light language, some sing it, some sign or draw or write it. And it's like light maps or codes or inscriptions. And it's called light language because that is how it appears to your inner eye as the practitioner is speaking or singing or drawing it. They are words that are on fire or lit with gold. Some people say they are channeling light language from angels, high councils, and other beings in other realms or star systems. Some say that it comes from their own higher self, and some believe that it's both, and each person has their own style of expression as distinct as their voice. It's as different as the beings or aspects that they are bringing through the language. Perhaps you, like many others, are interested in forms of communication other than that humans have become accustomed to using with one another. It's fascinating how dolphins send each other holographic blasts of information through clicks and whistles and whirs, and how trees and forests speak to one another in chemical impulses. These things don't point to definitions. They transmit states of being. They're full of emotion. They're charged with presence. And light language is truly celestial. It's angelic, ancient, and at the same time futuristic. As much as many of us are familiar with ideas of enchantment, light language takes us right to the edge of the unfamiliar. But I also know that it's important for us to know about because we can all do it if we choose to. In an age of understanding how beneficial it would be for us to feel new ways of communicating that, as trees, dolphins, and angels already know, light language can never be misunderstood. In the stress of our three-dimensional world, the practice of light language heals by bringing together the spiritual and the physical. When we express ourselves, it helps us make a connection, bridging the imaginary into the physical realm because sound is physical. We can bring everything from our ancestry into the physical world. We can then apply that wisdom to everything we do. Bringing it into physical energy helps us grow and makes our world better than it is. So I mentioned that anybody can speak light language. If you've even asked that question, could I do this? The answer is yes, because you have a desire to do it. And your soul was guided in order to push you toward this. So why not explore it, right? Go out into nature and allow what is in your heart to come out. Maybe it will be a chant or syllables or a strange sequence of sounds you don't understand. There's nothing scary about it. It's just the embracing of who you are. Light language is encoded in your DNA, in all of our DNA. I'm going to take you through the steps of how to speak or sing it a little further along in this podcast episode, so hang on. In the meantime, I want to tell you about Jamie Price. Jamie's known for her beautiful transmissions of light language that use voice and hand sign. Her hands describe shapes, glyphs, and formations in the air. It's a simultaneous layer of meaning to the utterances of her voice. Price was working as an energy healer when she felt light language come on to her suddenly. She was giving an energy alignment in Sedona, Arizona, where she lives now, when her hands started moving. She says that her hands would twitch, and then the movement got bigger and faster and would become more organized rather than simply being a twitch. Soon after, a teacher at an event Price was attending showed a slide of light language during her presentation. She says that as soon as she saw that, she knew that's what her hands had been doing. They were writing light language in the air. Unsure of what to do with her new ability, Price repressed it for a long time. Her biggest fear was that she would not be able to live a normal life. I can understand that if she let it flow, she would be seen as a weirdo. She worried that people might ostracize her, so she shut this gift down. If she went to a place where there was a lot of energy, she would have to sit on her hands and keep her mouth clenched shut to keep it inside. Later, she was doing a channeling in public, and when the first person came up to her, her finger went right to this woman's shoulder and barely touched her, and light language started pouring out. It was sudden. She had a spontaneous, energetic experience and could not stop laughing. One of her clients said it came out like a storm. Jamie knew that she was at a decision point. She had done a lot of nurturing and learning, and now it was time to actually do it. She was ready to grow the courage to do something unusual and take a risk. Price's transmissions can be from the angelic realms, from galactic dimensions, from the ancient continent of Lemuria, even from the elemental realms of elves and fairies. The group consciousness she's most known for channeling is Arion from the star group of Lyra, which I've had a lot of interesting mystic experiences about. Yet her transmissions are usually in English. Sometimes she will set an intention for the energy or information she wants to bring through, but sometimes she just lets the energy decide. Practice and openness have made Price an enthusiastic conduit for light language. She says that the more you do it, you get more experience and understanding, and you trust yourself more. Just you're allowing it to flow. It becomes more accessible. It's accessible to you anytime you want it. Light language is part of our evolutionary stage on an evolving Earth. What we are going through now is a more conscious connection with a subtle realm. We've always interacted with it, but now it's becoming more consciously available. Light language bridges this communication because it uses your brain in a different way. You're not going purely off memory. You're allowing flow to happen, and then you're observing. In the physical realm, you must manipulate reality, but the non-physical realm is about connection and resonance. Everyone has the potential to write, speak, or sing light language. It's natural to us, though we've forgotten how. As we use it more, connect and communicate in a different way, it starts to expand things here. You'll find that you begin to expand your multidimensional awareness. It's so exciting to recognize that we can all channel. You are connected to something huge. Life wants to communicate with you and through you. You are life in human form, and eventually you start to see life everywhere. There is something that takes you out of your comfort zone and into a loving connection with something that's starting to change the human experience. And it's called light language. You can look for a link to Jamie's YouTube channel in the show description, as well as the name of her book and the URL for her website so you can find her. I'm hoping to get her on the show in the near future. So there are forms of light language, 3 forms, again, spoken, signed, and written. In communication, each form utilizes a different combination of hand gestures, body language, and facial expressions. Unlike any other known human language, it cannot be understood consciously as it's not communicated with words we understand. Yet when you hear it, it touches your heart and you can feel its healing energy. It's a light code transmission accessed through a process called downloading. I'm sure you've heard of that. Downloading such transmissions may come in 5 ways: light language words, visuals, sounds, feelings, and thoughts. So whichever one is transmitted to you first is the way you're meant to begin. These are encoded messages that you can receive and transmit in a deep meditative state. Speaking the light language is called channeling. In other words, you use your voice to create frequencies matching the channeled vibration. Then you transmit that energy to another person. Some people can channel light language, symbols, and meanings. It's believed that some of the Egyptian scribes represent light language symbols. Although you cannot consciously comprehend them, your higher consciousness recognizes them as God's words. There is a world of hidden information you can tap into via your multidimensional senses. You possess more than 5 senses. Your multidimensional senses are ancient, just like the human brain is. So, what is light language used for? Those who've experienced it use it primarily to connect and communicate with their angels and spirit guides. We all have guides. We just don't know how to access them sometimes. This is a potent tool that allows you to clear your energy field and your whole system to return to its natural state, which is the state of abundance. It's also a healing tool that can heal you and whoever hears the transmission. How does it work? Any imbalance in your body, mind, and spirit can be perceived as a lower vibrational state. Light language is a transmission of higher vibrations that overrides lower vibrations. It can also override your negative thoughts or emotions. So if you're feeling like your frequency is down, light language is a great way to ratchet your energy back up higher. In essence, whenever you need guidance from your higher self, angels, or spirit guides, or you want to facilitate healing on all levels, light language is an excellent tool for doing it. So here we go. How do you learn and translate light language? First, translating light language into worldly communication defies its whole purpose. You don't use it to communicate through your conscious mind. You access unconscious aspects of yourself that speak through vibration. So it's an intuitive process that bypasses human logic. There is no light language alphabet you can learn, darn it. So we're going to talk about how to speak and sing light language. First, you tap into your heart chakra. That's right here. Set an intention that your soul, your higher self, will be able to express itself this way. Then make some sounds. Don't judge yourself. Just gonna be ma la ma la va. You could go through the vowels. E A I O U. E A I O U. It's not about being beautiful or perfect or speaking something. It's just getting yourself making a noise. Just don't judge whatever comes out. Trust in your innate ability and give yourself time to get comfortable with this. It's not something you do one time and suddenly you're proficient. No, it takes practice. So let's start with tones again. We can do this together. No words. And so these are just some random tones to get you going. Ooh, ah, e, a, ah, a, o, u, ah, le, ah. We'll do it again. Ooh, ah, e, a, o, u, la, le, ah. You can do it on one note. You can do it on multiple notes, whatever you're comfortable with. Concentrate on feeling the vibrations in your body. I really feel that in the heart chakra right here around the heart. Move your hands gracefully as you tone. So, ooh, ah, ah. It doesn't just let your hands go. I cannot do both hands right now, but do both hands. Give yourself permission to tap into words now and start with simple words. It's not human words. Heya, heya, alimai, lai, ana, heya, anine, lehira. So then you can sing it. And again, it's not a melody from a song you recognize. It's just notes. It's sounds and notes, and you're just going with your higher self, your intuition, your heart. Hey ya, hey ya, ani mai lai. Ana, he na, Anane lahira. You don't have to do what I do. It's best if you don't. You really need to just let your intuition guide you. Just open your mouth, sing some words, some sounds on notes of your choice. Try to get into a trance with it so you can keep going until you feel yourself getting into that trance. How do you get into a trance? You let go of thought process. You just get into what you're doing. And remember, there is no wrong way to do this. It's impossible to be wrong because it's individual for you. So relax, see what comes out for you. If you want to learn it, a couple ways that you can practice this and get better is listen and repeat. Children learn language by listening and absorbing what they hear. When listening comprehension is solidified, then they begin to repeat words and phrases. It's the most natural way of learning any language, including a foreign one. In the same way, you pick up light language by listening to someone channeling it and then repeating it using your voice. You can pronounce it, sing it, or hum it. So you can watch this video again and sing with me or say it with me. You can find YouTube videos on light language and go sing along with them. Don't get discouraged if you try this and nothing comes out of your mouth at first. The more you practice it, the sooner you unlock your soul's individual language. Set an intention to remember it. It's almost like having the intention to remember your dreams when you learn how to lucid dream. In this case, you're intending to remember your soul's language. Imagine you're tuning into your own soul's frequency. What does that sound like? What color is it? When you practice your meditation and access deep, altered states, remember your intention. And when you are ready, attempt to vocalize your light language. The more you do it, the better you'll get at it, the more comfortable you'll feel. Be patient because it takes time to learn any new language. Notice any changes, positive changes in how you feel, your life. Your intention alone to tap into your soul's unique frequency can bring about immense transformation for you. So I encourage you to give this a try. If you have questions about this, please ask me in the comment section. Happy to address them always. You can watch the continuation of this topic on my Patreon page, which is The Angel Room. It'll be free for you to watch the video, and it's going to be seeing light language phrases and learning how to pronounce them. It's free again. Watch it on The Angel Room. And tune in next week. The topic is signs your angels are listening. Hey, it's Christmas season. I'm thinking about angels more than even I usually do. Love sharing the information with you. In the meantime, may your angels surround you. May your angels protect you every moment, every day of your life. I'll see you next week and have a happy holiday.